Okay.
Yes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the McAllen Independent School District being held today, Monday, February the 11th, the year 2019. It is 5 p.m. We are in the boardroom located at the Administration Building at 2000 North 23rd Street, McAllen, Texas. At this time, I'd like to go into closed session. The board may go into closed session pursuant to sections 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074 of the Texas Government Code to discuss the following items. A, human resource recommendations for the school year 2018 to 2019. Human resources employee resignations for the school year 2018-2019. C, principal for Victor Fields Elementary. D, principal for Pablo Perez Elementary. E, pending or potential litigation. And F, possible real estate acquisition. We will reconvene in open session at approximately 6 p.m. At 5:02, we will be going into closed session. Duly noted. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to reconvene our 5 o'clock meeting of the Board of Directors, Board of Trustees, McAllen Independent School District. Duly noted, Mr. Secretary.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, and I'd like to welcome all of those that are watching on their mobile devices or computers or iPads at home. At this time, if everyone would please stand for the invocation, it will be given by Trustee Tony Farina, and followed by the pledge, which will be given by Trustee Marco Suarez. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, join me in bowing your heads. Almighty God, we come together today for the good of all the children in our schools. Give us your wisdom as we make decisions that will affect them today and in the years to come. Help us to work well together, recognizing that each of us, parents, educators, and community representatives, are here because we love children and we want what is best for them. We ask for your blessing, your guidance. In your holy name we pray. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. For the record, there was no action taken in closed session. Item 6 on today's agenda, Superintendent's Report. I'll pass to Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. McAllen ISD held its second annual Endorsement and Career Expo on January 23rd at the McAllen Convention Center. About 1,200 students representing each of McAllen ISD's middle schools were able to visit dozens of booths to learn about their wide array of exciting careers. In addition, they met with high school teachers and student presenters who shared information on top-notch programs that we offer as a district. Students also learned how each course falls under a specific endorsement. And I'm very, very proud of all of our students that were well behaved throughout the expo. All of our teachers are there and sharing all of the information about all the wonderful programs. So to all that took part in this expo, thank you very much. And most of all to our students, thank you for being so engaged in that process. And we have a short film to show you what it was all about.
We want to let them know that they can have a dream and aspiration for their own city, their own community, and make that happen.
Schools start investing into training their younger generation, and you can take some technical skill sets and make a great living for your family.
I actually took the class myself when I was in high school.
It is all...
It's a good experience and it should help you to prepare for the future.
Sometimes you learn about something new that you didn't think you would like, and it's good to explore and see new things and learn new things.
Today's jobs actually require a lot of creativity and a lot of leadership positions. So in band we offer that.
It's good to have some knowledge and experience before you can go and do it when you're older.
What we want to do is make sure that we're partnering with our educational entities to make sure that what our companies are asking for we're getting that across, and we're getting those programs helped to set up for our kids.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir.
Item number 7 on today's agenda is recognitions and/or proclamations.
Mr. President, first of all, I'd like to move that we approve the recognition and proclamations listed on our agenda today.
So moved.
It's been moved and second to approve recognitions and proclamations. Any discussion? All those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, I'd like to reorganize the agenda with the following motion. I move that we move up items 7C, 7E, and 7H in that order to be heard before item 7A.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we reorganize the agenda as previously stated. Any objections or discussions on the item? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, we're looking at item 7C, is that right, Trustee
Yes, sir.
Salivas? 7C, tonight we recognize 5 outstanding musicians, and they have been selected by the Texas Music Educators Association as members of the TMEA All-State Choir. Dr. Ibarra will provide more details, and Bridget V. will introduce our outstanding students, teachers, and administrators.
Thank you, sir. The Fine Arts Department is honored to present 5 music students representing Memorial High School and Rowe High School who earned placements in the Texas Music Educator Association All-State Choir for 2018-2019. These students participated in 3 levels of rigorous auditions and competed against over 60,000 other music students from across the state before being selected. Only 2.5% of these students that are in the audition process are selected for TMEA All-State. If you include all the music students across the state of Texas, the percentage would be much, much lower. Being a Texas All-State musician is the pinnacle of any high school musician. Later this week, these students will attend the TMEA convention in San Antonio, where they will rehearse and perform with their respective teams, the Texas All-State Choir. Ms. V?
Our first student tonight, Audra Wright from Memorial High School. Brianna Amaya, Rowe High School. Courtney Smith, Rowe High School. James Richardson, Rowe High School. Dylan Moreno, Rowe High School. Kelly Hinojosa, Assistant Choir Director, Memorial High School. Omar Samiaco, Choir Director, Memorial High School. Stacy Gonzalez, Choir Director, Rowe High School. Alfonso, Rowe High School Assistant Choir Director, Alfonso Gonzalez. Vida Ojeda, Rowe High School Assistant Choir Director. Chloe Gonzalez, Rowe Vertical Team De Leon Choir Director. Lauren Albright, Rowe Vertical Team De Leon Choir Director. Monica Kaufman, Principal, Rowe High School. Pedro Alvarez, Principal, Memorial High School. Jim Egger, Director of Fine Arts. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Danny, you have your proclamation? Yes. 7E, it's yours.
Monica.
7E. Yes, 7E, we're up. Next, we have 7E, approval of proclamation regarding Go Red Day on February 22nd, 2019 for McAllen ISD. McAllen ISD will be Going Red Friday, February 22nd, to support the mission of the American Heart Association, building healthier lives free of cardiovascular disease and stroke. The campaign reflects our commitment to staff wellness and to the Let's Move movement. Bridget V. will now introduce the group, and our board president, Mr. Danny Vela, will read the proclamation.
So our first student from Hendricks Elementary, Miss Ana Andrade. Hector Andrade, Hendricks Elementary. Valeria Garza. Isabella Garza. Sadie Gonzalez. Emma Tijarina. Assistant Principal Monica Garza, Hendricks Elementary. Jane Espino. Scott Nelson, American Heart Association Representative. And Adalia del Bosque, McAllen ISD Director, Health Services. Hendricks Elementary.
If I may. Whereas 1 in 3 women die of heart disease and stroke each year, yet society is not actively aware. In fact, many even dismissed it as an older man's disease. To dispel the myths and raise awareness of heart disease as the #1 killer of women, the American Heart Association created Go Red for Women, a passionate, emotional, social initiative designed to empower women to take charge of their heart health. Whereas Go Red for Women encourages awareness of the issue of women and heart disease, and also action to save more lives. It challenges them to know the risk for heart disease and to take action to reduce their personal risk. It also gives them the tools they need to lead a heart-healthy life. Whereas, based on their own research, a woman who goes red will follow an exercise routine, eat a healthier diet, visit her doctor for important tests, and influence others by talking about heart health. Whereas the McAllen Independent School District has designated Friday, February 22nd, the year 2019, as Go Red Day. Therefore, be it resolved, Go Red Day, the Go Red Day campaign urges everyone in the McAllen Independent School District to wear red on Friday, February 22nd, 2019. Now, therefore, I, Daniel D. Vela, President of the Board of Trustees of the McAllen Independent School District, do hereby proclaim Friday, February 22nd, 2019 as Go Red Day. I call upon all residents to support this initiative in an effort to reduce death in women due to cardiovascular disease. In witness whereof, I have hereto set my hand and caused the seal of the McAllen Independent School District to be affixed on this 22nd day of February, 2019. Daniel D. Vela, President of the School District, attested to by Sam Saldivar Jr., Secretary of the Board of Trustees. Thank you.
Hold on. That's an updated photograph. Come on.
She's okay. She's all right.
There we go. There you go.
All right, good evening. My name's Scott Nelson. I'm a volunteer with the American Heart Association. I've been involved with them for, I was trying to figure it out today, about 25 years. My background is paramedic. I have spent time working with people of lots of ages, male and female, that have had cardiovascular disease, and have had the opportunity to make an impact on their life. What the American Heart Association does is education, and they help you understand the healthy ways to live and healthy ways to keep moving forward. So I hope that you can join us on the 22nd and wear red and support the Heart Association. Thank you.
Next, we have 7H, recognition of the 2019 National Blue Ribbon nominee, Sam Houston Elementary. Founded in 1982, Blue Ribbon Schools in the U.S. Department of Education program that recognizes public and private schools where students perform at very high levels and where exemplary progress has been named toward closing achievement gaps among subpopulations while also maintaining high achievement levels among all students. Tonight, we recognize the principal and staff at Sam Houston Elementary School for their outstanding work and dedication. The Texas Education Agency has nominated Sam Houston Elementary School for the prestigious Blue Ribbon National Award as an exemplary performing school. Only one of 26 schools in Texas were nominated. Ms. Bridget V. will introduce our outstanding principal, her team members, and wonderful students.
Please welcome tonight Ms. Deborah Loya Thomas, principal of Sam Houston Elementary. Irma Garcia, second grade teacher. Veronica Martinez, second grade teacher. Yvette Benavides, kindergarten teacher. Vanessa Butler, special ed teacher. Gracie Castillo, second grade teacher. Daniela Mendez, third grade reading teacher. Taylor Nichols, second grade teacher. Nelda Palalek, counselor. Mary Vela, LLI teacher. Ruben Castro, fourth grade math teacher.
Before we get started, I did want to congratulate Sam Houston once again. Thank you so much for the hard work. Sam Houston has all 6 distinctions, scored 94% with regard to accountability. This is an outstanding staff and an outstanding student body. So how about another round of applause for our another staff member that just got in?
Academic coach, Veronica. Yes.
Veronica Guerra, academic coach, come on down. She was tutoring students right now.
Mom and dad.
How about a few words from our principal?
I wasn't quite prepared, and I am very shy, but I would, but I would like to thank all of our administration and Dr. Gonzalez and Ms. V for all of their support. It's wonderful to have an administration that supports our efforts, and it's even better to have the most outstanding teaching staff in the district. So I congratulate my teachers, I congratulate my students, and I thank everyone for their support. Also, I'd like to thank our parents who have helped and laid the foundation for us along the way. So thank you. And finally, I would like to thank our board members for the wonderful job that they've done, and they've just been recognized as an HEB finalist, so we're very excited about that as well. Thank you.
Way to go, Cougars. Way to go. Way to go, Cougars. Way to go.
Good job. Congratulations. Congratulations, you're beautiful. Bye-bye, congratulations. There's that math teacher. One of those few males at elementary, right? You do well. You too, sir. Thank you for everything.
One more.
I'd like to reorganize the agenda, item 11C1. I move that we now go to this item, which is district operation item.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Peter Piper Pizza.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we reorganize the agenda. Any questions or discussions on the item? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Dr. Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is 11C1, approval of donation from Peter Piper Pizza to McAllen ISD third grade students. And Ms. Cristina Perez is here representing Peter Piper Pizza. We'd like to thank her and her organization for this generous donation. Ms. Perez?
All right, so please welcome from Peter Piper Pizza, Miss Christina Sainz. We also have 3 students that are wanting to join us in the presentation. Third grader from Hendricks is Miss Isabella Garza. Sadie Gonzalez, Hendricks Elementary. And Valeria Garza, Hendricks Elementary.
That's it.
All right, we're good.
But she's got some books to hand out.
Good afternoon. For the past 4 years, our owner has donated over 70,000 dictionaries. And while we're not able to give to all districts, every single school, we were able to help out McAllen ISD and make sure that all elementary third graders are receiving a dictionary this year. So thank you guys for helping us get those out to the kiddos. Thank you.
Are the parents here for a picture? Oh, okay, here we go.
Miss Science.
They wanted a picture. Oh, did I leave before? Sorry.
Okay. It's just when your employer goes
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Remember, word a day, word a day. Before you know it, you know the whole
Dictionary.
There you go.
We're back on. Yeah, we're back on. Now we're back to 7A, recognition of Memorial High School varsity cheerleaders. Congratulations to the McAllen Memorial Varsity Cheer Team for phenomenal accomplishment, winning back-to-back state titles in the UIL State Spirit Competition in the 6A Division II category. Congratulations, Mustangs. Ms. V will now introduce our students and coaches.
All right, our first athlete that came across, Miss Leilani Alejo, that's already come across. Carolina Delgado. Natasha De Peña. Karina Falcon. Lauren Garza. Julissa Hernandez. Alejandra Hinojosa. Angela Houghton. Kaylee Johnson. Emily Lara. Diane Mar Garza. Chloe Martinez. Jasmine Mata. Hi, no problem, no problem. Jacqueline Moore. Sarah Pedrosa. Joanna Perez. Kayla Robles. Nashla Sahadi. Sophia Sahadi. Araceli Sanchez. Ashley Sauceda. Cassandra Sauceda. Elvira Sepulveda. Jade White. And our head coach for the awesome Memorial Cheerleaders, Mr. Pedro Ramirez. Bill Littleton, Athletic Coordinator, Memorial High School. And the principal, Memorial High School, Mr. Pedro Alvarez.
The Memorial Mustang cheerleaders lead the school spirit at Memorial High School. They support various organizations on campus, as well as all male and female athletic teams. They also do a phenomenal job of representing MISD in the community at various elite competitions, such as regional, state, and nationals. They have received several prestigious awards and honors. First, we would like to recognize the team on their championship title at regional competition in November. Additionally, we also recognize the team on their back-to-back UIL Spirit State Championships in the Conference 6A Division II, which was held this January. Competing against 54 teams, Memorial Cheer captured the state title and brought home the gold medals. Also, the team just returned from national competition last night. They placed 7th in the final round at the National High School Cheerleading Game Day Championship. The team would like to thank their families, the entire Mustang community, Coach Bill Littleton, and Mr. Pete Alvarez for all their continued support. Thank you on such great accomplishments. Best of luck.
We needed that thunder song on, you know? You can stand and move around if you want. Check out these rings. That's last year. We gotta get new ones for this year. Rings out. There you go. Rings out. That's when the show.
That's why when you call Pete, he doesn't answer for 2 rings.
That's good. That's good. These are champion athletes.
Great job. Great job.
Ramirez.
you all very much. Once again, very, very proud of our cheerleading squad and the coaches, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Congratulations. Congratulations, girls.
Congratulations, Petey.
Congratulations. 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 Bye-bye. Great.
Well, you know, it all depends how many times they wanted, you know, without chasing.
You know what? I think you can start over, Darren. Yeah, I've seen Darren play. I've seen you play. You're better than Darren. Darren, he's going to start over you next year, the freshman.
Our next item is 7B, recognition of the Dave Campbell Texas Basketball Unsung Hero Award recipient. And congratulations to Darren Everidge, a Nicky Rowe High School junior and varsity basketball player who's a tremendous athlete, for being selected to receive the Dave Campbell Texas Basketball Unsung Hero Award presented by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. We have Ms. Bridget V., who will introduce our outstanding student athlete and his coach.
Please welcome Mr. Darren Everidge, student athlete, Rowe High School. Coach Jose Yebra, basketball head coach, Rowe High School. Bobby Flores, athletic coordinator, Rowe High School. Monica Kaufman, principal, Rowe High School. Juan Carlos Rendon, representative for Dave Campbell Scholarship.
Darren carries a 4.0 GPA, has been a basketball varsity starter since his freshman year, is part of his high school student council, is a McAllen ISD student ambassador, is part of the National Honor Society, and a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He has also logged numerous hours doing community service at the Rio Grande Valley Food Bank, McAllen Police Department, the annual toy drive, State Sharp Community Outreach, and UPS highway cleanups, just to name a few. He also plays AAU basketball year-round with the Vipers Academy Elite. Some of his personal accomplishments in basketball include 36A Newcomer of the Year as a freshman, 36A All-District First Team and Defensive First Team, Second Team All-Valley as a sophomore, and currently as a junior he has played in all 32 games and leads second in team scoring, second in team rebounding, first in team assist, and first in team steals. With all of this above being mentioned, Darren earned only one of 3 Unsung Hero Awards given in the state of Texas by Dave Campbell's Texas Basketball. As part of the award, Darren will also receive $500 thanks to Texas Farm Bureau Insurance to be used toward his college fund. Congratulations to Darren and to his family, who is also here for his tremendous accomplishments and contributions to Nicky Rowe High School, McAllen ISD, and the entire community. Congratulations.
On behalf of Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we just want to say congratulations, Darren. I mean, it couldn't have gone to a better kid. So, you know, just keep it up, keep going. And, I mean, very impressive. 4.0, I couldn't even do that in college, you know. Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Mom and Dad, please follow. Yeah. Yeah. I think we're all going to have to be in the front row. I feel like I'm amongst the trees.
Congratulations.
No.
That's I got to step up. Yeah, well, yeah. There you go. Coach, I don't want to give a chance. You got the whole middle, Coach, don't worry about it. We're good. Stand up, Coach. Little people up. Short people where we go.
Are you ready?
Yeah, hold on, ready. Great job.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. So they just want to add that this young man is the first person to receive this award south of San Antonio.
Yep.
Good job, Darren.
I just want to tell him because I've seen this kid, young man, mature. Has been over the house studying, seen him through the years grow, mature. He's the kind of young man that you want your son to be like. He is the most respectful, humble, hardworking kid. He volunteers, gives his all in everything that he does. I know Coach would echo the same thing as me, but just watching you grow, we're so proud of you. And that's why there's so many people here that support you because they're so proud of everything you've done. Mom, you should be so proud you did it right.
All right, good job, Darren.
Congratulations.
Great job, Darren.
7D.
Next, we have 7D, recognition of the McAllen Independent School District Creative Mind Art Challenge winners. Tonight, we recognize several very talented visual arts students from our middle schools and high schools. They were chosen as the top 5 students in the 3rd annual MISD Creative Mind Art Challenge contest. Dr. Ibarra will provide more details, and Ms. Bridget V. will introduce our outstanding students, teachers, and administrators. Dr. Ibarra.
Thank you, sir. The McAllen ISD Fine Arts Department is pleased to announce a local art event that we started in the fall of 2016. It is called the McAllen ISD Creative Mind Art Challenge. During his TED Talk a few years ago, Sir Ken Robinson had 2 very important quotes. Everybody has creative capacity. The challenge is to know how to cultivate it. And creativity is now as important in education as literacy. Knowing the importance of creativity to student success, the MISD art teachers and fine arts department got together to create this contest for our students. This year's 3rd annual McAllen ISD Creative Art Challenge was held at Staff Development on Saturday, January 12, 2019. For this event, each middle school and high school art teacher nominated 5 of their top art students to compete. A still life was on display and the students were given a prompt. The students then had 3 hours to create a new artwork based on the elements of the still life and the prompt. This year's prompt was loud. A panel of art teachers judged the artwork based on the technical skill, use of the prompt, and creativity. All the students did an outstanding job. The top 5 middle school and high school students are with us here today, along with their artwork. Ms. V?
All right, please welcome our first student from Cathy Middle School, Asia Hinojosa. Catherine Garza, Morris Middle School. Pedro Noah Garza, Fossum Middle School. Adrian Villegas, 4th place, De Leon Middle School. Evelyn Noriega, 5th place, Cathy Middle School. Gabriela Mendoza, 1st place, Memorial High School. Julia Taylor, 3rd place, Memorial High School. Ella Wingate, 4th place, Lamar High School. Grayson Crane, art teacher for Cathy Middle School. Dante Mata, art teacher, Morris Middle School. Gloria Garza, art teacher, Fossum Middle School. Wendy Gilbert, art teacher, De Leon Middle School. Travis Dillard, art teacher, Kathy Middle School. Rena Roberts, art teacher, Memorial High School. Ingelise Johnson, art teacher, Lamar High School. Gabriel Martinez, art teacher, McAllen High School. Lorena Gonzalez, teacher at Mac High. Lisa Sainz Saldivar, McAllen ISD arts coach. Pedro Alvarez Jr., principal, Memorial High School. And once again, Jim Egger, director of fine arts.
They should come over here. She come right here. Yeah. You want to switch with me? I'll go up.
I think you're talking about the girl in the blue dress, right?
There you go.
Well, they go this way. They go this way.
Ready to rock, Larry?
Good to see you.
Great job, guys.
Thank you. Good to see you again. Congratulations. The superintendent's art.
Great job, students. Great job, parents, staff. Sorry.
Always.
Our next item is 7F, approval of proclamation regarding Career Technical Education Month, February 2019. CTE Month is a public awareness national campaign held in February. During February, CTE will raise awareness of the crucial role that CTE plays in preparing students for college, careers, and economic success. Ms. Bridget V. will now introduce the group, and Trustee Larry Esparza will read the proclamation.
Joining us tonight from Mac High is Alexia Guerrero. Isaac Gamboa, DECA student, Rowe High School. Leslie Cantu with FCCLA, Rowe High School. Reagan Dopp, FFA, Memorial High School. Victor Menchaca, First RGV, McAllen High School. David P. Lyons, Career Technical Education Coordinator. Lilia Sandoval Silva, Career Technical Education Director.
Thank you all. We have a proclamation that we'd like to read for our CT program. It reads, State of Texas, County of Hidalgo, McAllen Independent School District. Whereas February 2019 has been designated Career Technical Education Month by the Association of Career and Technical Education and the McAllen Independent School District, and whereas students in career technical education programs participate in authentic, meaningful experiences that improve the quality of their education and increase student engagement and achievement while gaining the academic, technical, and employability skills necessary for true career readiness. And whereas ensuring that employers have access to a qualified workforce, which is a crucial step in ensuring continued economic growth and global competitiveness. Now, therefore, I, Larry Esparza, board member of the Board of Trustees of the McAllen Independent School District, do hereby proclaim that the month of February 2019 be observed as Career and Technical Education Month. McAllen ISD encourages all students, staff, and community members to become familiar with the services, benefits being offered by the Career Technical Education programs at McAllen ISD, and to support and participate in these programs to enhance their individual skills and productivity. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the McAllen Independent School District to be affixed on this 11th day of February 2019, and is signed by myself and attested to by Sam Salivar, Secretary of the Board of Trustees. And we'd like to thank Lily and all of her staff for all the good work that they've done, and all our community members that have participated and joined in partnerships with the school district. It provides a lot of opportunities for our students to make sure that they have some type of skill when they graduate and go into the workforce or proceed to school. They have a skill that they can use to help pay for their education. So again, thank you, everybody, and thank you, Lily, for all the hard work, and Mr. Lyons for all the hard work, and the rest of your staff for all the hard work. And students, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Next, we have 7G, approval of proclamation regarding Arbor Days on February 11th and March 2nd, 2019. In partnership with Keep McAllen Beautiful, we are excited to bring forth the Arbor Day proclamation. Proclamation will be for today and for March 2nd, when Arbor Day Kids 1 Mile Run will take place. Ms. Bridget V. will now introduce our outstanding group, and our board president, Mr. Danny Vela, will then read the proclamation.
Please welcome tonight Mr. Rene Gonzalez, Arbor Day Celebration Chair. Don Medina, Board Member. Mary Gonzalez, KMB Board Member. Carlos Lopez, KMB Board Member. Cody Lopez, Arbor Day Participant. Patty Lopez, Board Member. Ernesto Sepulveda, Board Member. Chris Lash, Board KMB Program Coordinator. Mario Reina, Coordinator for PE Health.
And one correction on the proclamation, our trustee Tony Forina will read the proclamation for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, the proclamation reads, State of Texas, County of Hidalgo, McAllen Independent School District. Whereas Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in 1872. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil from wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate temperatures, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, are a renewable resource giving us paper and countless other wood products. Whereas trees will beautify our communities and schools. And whereas McAllen's Keep America Beautiful established an Arbor Day celebration on March 2nd to help dedicate and distribute trees for our city to help ensure a prosperous future for our community through proper tree maintenance and tree plantings with the help of every citizen. In addition, as a measure to promote physical well-being, the children in our community can participate in a kids' 1-mile run. Easy, Mr. Alvarado, it's for the kids. Now, therefore, I, Tony Fortina, member of the Board of Trustees of the McAllen Independent School District and MC for the Kids Run, do hereby proclaim February 11, 2019 and March 2nd, 2019 as Arbor Day. Resolved by the McAllen Independent School District and Keep McAllen Beautiful are working together to educate the children of McAllen ISD on the value of health literacy, physical literacy, and trees. In witness whereof, I have set my hand and caused the seal of the McAllen Independent School District to be affixed on this 11th day of February 2018, attested to by Sam Saldivar Jr., Secretary of the Board of Trustees for McAllen Independent School District.
Good evening. My name is Rene Gonzalez. I'm the chair head for the Arbor Day celebration. Thank you for this acknowledgement. And we would like just to let everybody know that this once again this year we have partnered with McAllen ISD to have this event. Typically it's a 5K, 10K for adults, and we have a bike ride, and also we have some educate the community on trees. But we have partnered with McAllen ISD to try to promote a healthier way of living for kids. So we have we established this 1-mile race for all elementary kids to join us from McAllen ISD. So please get on our website, and if we asked to see if we can get us. We have so far have 500, 600 kids that have joined our event. So the more the merrier. So please, March 2nd at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning will be the kids race, right? All events start at 7, but the kids race will be at 8 o'clock, right? At 9:30. I'm sorry.
So they get a shirt too?
So
the kids get a shirt?
The first 600 kids get a maroon shirt. 400? Wow. Well, I'm getting it all wrong here.
$399.
That's $399. And then they'll get a yes. And then all other participants will be getting that other nice medal over there and a shirt like that. So.
The 5K, 10K, and the bike ride.
Mm-hmm. Well, once again, thank you very much, and we hope to see you all there.
Thank you, sir. I would take it as a good. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Go, John.
motion to put the rest of the agenda on consent?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to reorganize the agenda one more time. Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0. We're moving up item, I'm sorry, Ms. Saliceda, which item? 9C and 9D. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. 9C is approval of the principal for Victor Fields Elementary School. Administration is recommending Teresa Treadla for the position of principal for Victor Fields Elementary School, and we are requesting action on this item.
So move, Mr. President.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any questions or comments on the item?
Who seconded, Mr. Florino or Mr. Alvarado? I think
Mr.
Mr. Alvarado did.
Mr. Alvarado
Thank you.
did. Any questions or comments on the item? Hearing none, all those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Thank you and congratulations. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. 9D is approval of the principal for Dr. Pablo Perez Elementary School. Administration recommends Veronica Delgado for the position of principal for Dr. Pablo Perez Elementary School, and we are requesting action on this item.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, this time by trustee Farina. that we approve the item. All those in favor of the, I'm sorry, any questions or comments on this item? Hearing none, I'll take the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you and congratulations. Okay, back to item 8 on the agendas, board members and board committees and district reports. First, 8A, instructional services briefing. Our chair of the committee is trustee Sam Saldivar Jr. Mr. Saldivar.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. On Friday, February the 8th, 2019, at 2:30 in the afternoon, Trustee Alvarado and I met with Dr. Ibarra to discuss 8 items on the agenda here tonight. Some of them were the proclamations that we've already done, but some of the things we'll be discussing later that are to take note is approval of the 2019 summer school program, the approval of request for maximum class size waiver application 2018-2019, which is an update, and approval of House Bill 1, high school performance goals for 2018-2019. So those are the items that we discussed in addition to the items we already completed with the proclamations. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, trustee Saldivar. Item 8A2, human resource briefing. Our chair of that committee is trustee Aliceda. Ms. Aliceda.
Yes, trustee Suarez and trustee Farina and I met with Mr. Miller, and we went over quite a bit of job descriptions. It's budget neutral, and we'll address it more when we get to that part of the agenda.
Thank you, trustee Aliceda. 8A3, district operations briefing. Our chair is Mr. Suarez, trustee Suarez.
I am ready to give Mr. Suarez his report, sir.
In his place, trustee Farina.
We had the discussion of the report regarding the parking lot for Staff Development Center at Lincoln, approval of a donation from Peter Piper Pizza to McAllen ISD third grade students, which we've already done, and the approval of the proclamation regarding Go Red Day on February 22nd, 2019 for MISD, which has also been done already.
Thank you, trustee Farina.
Thank you, sir.
Item 8A4, business operations briefing. Our chair is trustee Esparza. Mr. Esparza.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. There was, I believe, 4 items up on the agenda tonight that we will discuss. One of them has to do with tax collections for the period ending October 2018 through December 31st, and also discussion of budget amendments for this year. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Esparza. 8B, district reports. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. AB1 is a report regarding the delinquent tax collection for the period of October 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2018. We have Ms. Kelly Salazar from the firm Linebarger, Goggin, Blair, and Sampson, LLP, who will present the delinquent tax collection report for October 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2018. And this item is for information purposes only. Welcome, Ms. Salazar.
Yes.
Good evening, Kelly Salazar on behalf of Linebarger, Goggin, Blair, and Sampson to present the second quarter report, which is the period of October 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. As always, our delinquent tax collection program on behalf of McAllen ISD focuses on two basic premises. The first is to collect from the delinquent taxpayer themselves, and secondly, to use a tool of litigation only as a final option to collect. During this reporting period, we had over 1,058 phone calls, over 323 walk-ins to any one of our 4 locations throughout Hidalgo County, one on North 10th and one on South McCall in McAllen. We had over 167 payoff requests. We conducted over 140 property inspections. That means knocking on doors of delinquent taxpayers in this community, requesting that they enter into a payment agreement and informing them on their delinquency. Regarding litigation, we have filed 40 lawsuits. We have taken 21 judgments. We have filed 10 tax warrants, and pending litigation as of January 2019, we have 308 cases in suit, totaling over $1.6 million in base penalty and interest owed to McAllen ISD. Regarding collection highlights, you'll note that we're slightly down this quarter compared to last quarter. In base tax collected, we collected over $386,000. We actually collected more penalty and interest this quarter compared to last quarter of $148,286 for total collections this reporting period of $534,754. Looking forward to the future, we'll continue monitoring any judgments we have to determine efforts to pay, monitor those for possible tax sale or resale. We'll monitor any delinquency to determine if those are appropriate for initiation of lawsuits. We will continue monitoring any bankruptcy accounts involving delinquent taxpayers in this community. And we have already completed our January 2019 mailing, and we have another mailing scheduled for March 2019. That concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions regarding this quarter.
Thank you for the report. Mrs. Salazar, I'll open up the floor for any questions or comments from the board. Anyone have any comments or questions?
I have a quick question. Thanks, Kelly, for being here. On the lawsuits filed, it says 40 cases and it has an amount there. How do you determine that amount? Is that's not, we haven't collected on those. Those are just, they're.
On the lawsuits filed, those are the lawsuits, interventions filed involving McAllen ISD as a party to the suit, and that is the amount specifically owed to McAllen ISD.
Okay. And then on the disposed ones, that is the amount, that $284,000, that was actually paid to the district?
That could be paid to the district. That could be an amount that was involved that was non-suited. I could get you particulars on what accounted for each of those non-suits.
Okay. So then, of all of those listed there, then the only ones that the judgments taken would be what came to McAllen ISD, the 80,000, or how much of all of those there is come to the district?
Regarding the just for clarity's purposes, the judgments taken of 21, that the $80,000 is what was the amount included in the judgment from McAllen ISD, not necessarily the amount recovered.
Okay.
That would be if it was put up for tax sale, would be recovered, or if it was paid prior to a tax sale, that would be the amount recovered to McAllen ISD.
Could you give us a breakdown of those numbers, how that, as far as the lawsuits filed, what is owed to the district? Same thing on the disposed ones, how much came to the district and so forth?
As far as the lawsuits filed, that amount is what is owed to the district.
Okay, then I guess on the disposed ones.
Okay.
The 284, because you're saying not necessarily all of that came to the district, right?
Right. That's the amount involved in the case being disposed. For instance, if a taxpayer filed for bankruptcy during pending litigation, we would either abate the suit or non-suit the case. So that may be an amount involved in the bankruptcy. But I can break it down just for clarity's purpose.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else, any comments or questions?
I'm sorry, abate, it just means just not follow through or just?
Just leave it standing
right.
still
I just wanna
until the resolution of the bankruptcy case.
Okay.
Trustee Aliceta?
I have a question on page 4, the penalty and interest. How is the amount bigger, but the amount collected is smaller?
That's a good question. So the penalty and interest will be larger if the delinquency is older. The more recent the delinquency, the smaller the penalty and interest that will accrue. So sometimes that can mean that we're collecting on older accounts as opposed to newer accounts. However, in a case like this, I can tell you just by looking at it, the reason why there's such a disparity is because there was a refund issued in December 2018 due to appraisal district protests. And so over $108,000 was removed from the base tax collection of delinquency. So that would account for the disparity in this kind of case.
Penalty and interest goes to the district,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And only the percentage goes to the collection firm, right?
that's correct.
Thank you. Anyone else, comments or questions? Salazar, thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate the report.
Have
Thank
a good
you very
evening.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on, item 8B2, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Report regarding middle school endorsement and career expo. We saw a video on it earlier. McAllen ISD hosted the second annual endorsement and career expo for all eighth grade students on January 23rd, 2018 at the McAllen Convention Center. Eighth grade students and staff had the opportunity to speak to high school counselors, high school students, and community members regarding the high school graduation requirements, endorsements, and careers. We're very, very proud of this program and its success, and Dr. Ibarra will tell us a little bit more about it.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. Yes, as our eighth grade students prepare to transition to high school, it's very important they have a clear understanding of the graduation requirements and the endorsements, since all high school students must select an endorsement as part of their graduation plan. In McAllen, we're very pleased to inform you that we do offer all 5 endorsements. Some high schools do not. The 5 endorsements are the following: STEM, Business and Industry, Public Service, Arts and Humanities, and Multidisciplinary Studies. So again, as we prepare our students to transition, the goal of the Middle School Endorsement and Career Expo is to increase understanding amongst eighth grade students and staff on graduation requirements as it relates to the selection of endorsements, and to provide an opportunity of active participation in the pre-registration process. This is the second year that we have hosted the Career Expo, so we have data for you for the past 2 years. The number of students that participated was approximately 1,634 in comparison to 1,778 last year. Of course, we couldn't do this event without the support of our industry representatives, our staff, Central and Campus, and of course our student representatives, which bring so much value to the expo because students like to hear firsthand from the students that are going through the classes, and I'm referring to high school students. This year we had a total of 146 participants who were manning the tables and providing information on the endorsements and the career clusters and the electives that students can take at the high school level. Now, it's very important to us to know that this event is successful. The way we gauge that is we provide a survey to the students, a pre-survey and a post-survey, and we ask them the following question: prior to attending Career Expo, do you have a good understanding of high school endorsements? And the response this year was 54% said yes, 46% said no. After the endorsement or the post-survey, the question that was asked was, after attending Expo, do you have a better understanding of high school endorsements? And so that 54% went up to 90%. And of course, that is what we want. We want students to be very well informed, to make wise decisions, make informed decisions as they select their endorsements at the high school level. Now, in addition to the Career Expo, there are other activities that are taking place at the campus. At the middle schools, our students go through orientation and presentations that are conducted by the middle school counselors on the endorsements and also on the pre-registration procedures. We also have the high school counselors who come to the middle schools and assist the students with pre-registration. And we also offer parent sessions at all the middle schools, either 1 or 2 sessions. And as a matter of fact, today was the last session at De Leon at 8 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. And again, this provides students the opportunity, parents the opportunity to ask questions of the counselors having to do with high school graduation, endorsements, or any other concerns they may have as their students prepare to move on to high school. And you already saw the video, so that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Ibarra, for your presentation. Good work, good work. Anyone on the board have any comments or questions?
Mr. President?
Trustee Farina.
Dr. Ibarra, with the parent meetings, are they taking advantage of these opportunities to meet with the counselors and get an outlook on high school?
Absolutely. That is exactly the intent, that parents have many questions, especially with their first child that's going into high school. So they may have questions again on the endorsement, electives, graduation requirements. So yes, that is exactly the intent.
And the endorsement is to line up the curriculum that the child will study while they're going through high school, correct?
Yes, that's correct. They have to select a coherent sequence of courses that's going to lead to an endorsement as part of their graduation requirements.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. President.
Trustee Saldivar.
Thank you, sir. Just for clarification, early in the presentation, you said that at McAllen ISD, we offer all endorsements, and then you went on to say that some high schools don't. You meant some high schools in other districts don't, but
Yes,
all
sir.
our
All
comprehensive
our
high
comprehensive
schools
high schools, yes.
offer all 5 endorsements.
that's
of
correct,
Any
sir.
school they attend in high school here in McAllen ISD.
Yes, that's correct, sir.
Thank you for
Other
clarifying.
districts don't.
Yes, thank you.
Good catch.
If you want to name them, go ahead.
Why not? Anyone else, comments or questions?
I have a quick question, Mr. President. On the survey results, when you have those percentages there, is it mandatory every kid that went submits a response to the survey, or how many students responded, do you know? Because it just has percentages there, percentage that puts the total.
I'm going to ask Ms. Sandoval to answer that question, or Mr. Lyons.
Well, I'm just wondering, I mean, if it's only 100 kids that responded, or is everybody respond? Is it part of
I'd
the-
say it's about 90%, so we did have a good amount, a good pool prior to putting this out on the information, on the PowerPoint. And we made sure that most of the students that had attended were able to submit a survey.
Okay.
Every kid was offered the opportunity to do the survey, though. I mean, they went through all the campuses with the counselors, with the 8th grade students. So
Okay.
sometimes you have kids that just.
They don't.
That.
Yeah.
Mr.
Okay.
President, if I may?
Yes, sir.
I will work with the team to make sure that we share the exact numbers with the board. That way we can just have some
Sure.
specific numbers and look at what the return was like.
Absolutely.
But good job. Thank you for everything.
Trustee Alvarado.
Just when a student chooses endorsement or a pathway for ninth grade, how flexible are we, or what's the process if they don't like one? Can they change another one?
Absolutely. What happens is the interest survey might align them to business and industry.
Right.
And so that one, they might be interested, it aligns them to ag. They might come around and say, you know what, I want to stay in band. Okay? I don't want to move even though my interest survey says that. So they are given the opportunity to either choose what the interest survey aligns them to, or continue the pathway that they want to pursue, whether it be band or any other endorsement.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you all. Thank you all for your presentation this evening.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 8B3, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. 8B3's report regarding taxes collected for December 2018. Ms. Richards will report. Ms. Richards.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. For the month of December, the tax collections were $28,983,039.95. That resulted in year-to-date collections for current taxes of $34,950,753.24, and a year-to-date collections for delinquent taxes of $1,466,770.40, for a total of $36,417,523.64. The percent of collections for current taxes is 41.87% versus 40.33% for last year. And for delinquent taxes, that percent is 21.84% versus 22.82% for the prior year. And that concludes my report.
Any comments or questions?
Real quick, Mr.
Trustee
President.
Saldivar.
Thank you, sir. I understand this is December 2018 report, but it says debt service collection, $2,146,089. So is that on the INS side, or is that what we paid on the M&O side after the TRE had already been passed? Just to be
I'm sorry,
clear.
what number?
Debt service collection, $2,146,089, or did I get ahead of myself? That's what I'm seeing. It says local maintenance collection, $28,980,893. Is that what we're on?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're talking about the current collections of $28,983,000?
Yes. And then it says debt service collected was $2,146,000. Oh, I'm sorry, $2,146.
2,000, yes, sir.
Yes, I'm sorry, $2,146.89.
Okay.
Again, was that for INS that might have remained or?
Yes, sir.
Wait, okay.
Because the INS fund will still collect delinquent taxes. And that they will not collect current taxes anymore as a result of the tax ratification election. So all current taxes go to the M&O bucket. And so this $2,146.89 represents delinquency from the prior years, when we were still at the 11.5 cents, 10.5 cents, what have you, in the INS side.
So as we continue to move forward and those delinquent taxes are collected, and are we going to continue to see it separated this way?
Yes, sir. Because those funds will still go, they still belong to the INS component of it for those prior year collections.
All right, okay.
So
as
we'll always have a little bit of that going on.
We will, okay. And from an accounting standpoint, as we are making payments on the debt still, do we take those funds out and move them into that, towards that debt that we owe? Like, at this point, it's what, $9 million a year on the
Yes, sir.
INS side, which is, I'm sorry, on the previous bond debt, I should probably say it that way. So is that how that would work? So
You can use some of that balance to pay some of the debt service, and obviously it'll be a combination of some of the fund balance within the debt service and the transfer in that occurred back in back in September when the TRS passed. That transfer occurred then. You always want to maintain some type of fund balance within debt service, but at this point, it probably can be a very nominal amount in there. As we go into our budget amendment for this month, you're going to see that we have about 1.6 million projected in the INS debt service as a fund balance for them. And of course, make sure that we have money set aside for that August 15th payment also.
So I guess at that time, you'll clarify as to how we're going to use that reserve amount at this time, or maybe just leave it there, depending on where we are at the time of the budget discussion.
Absolutely. Yeah, you want to make sure you do have something there, but it probably doesn't have to be as large of an amount as we've had previously. And we have been using it in the previous years to pay off some of the debt service on there.
Yeah, because as a result of the TRE, all of it now, for the most part, on any current collected debt, tax, I should say, is coming out of the M&O side.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Is there anyone else, comments or questions? No question on that? No? Just a quick question. Is January typically our highest grossing month?
Yes, it is.
It is?
Yes.
And that's because everyone pays in December, we receive?
Right. So you'll see it in December and you'll see it in January, and then it starts tapering off in February, and it tapers off for the rest of the year. But it will be December.
30 million in January, something like that?
It could easily be that amount. I don't have the number in front of me. I can look it up in a
It's
little
not a
while
big
because we
deal. I'm
do
just-
maintain cash flow schedules and those type of
And
documents
that's
for
why I
it.
was asking for cash flow reasons. Not a problem. No,
yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate the report. Dr. Gonzalez, we're moving on to 8B4.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. 8B4 is report regarding parking lot for Staff Development Center at Lincoln, and Ruben Trevino is here to give us more information. This item is for information purposes only. Hello, Mr. Ruben, how you doing, sir?
Good. Good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Trevino.
Where's the, I'm here to present on the proposed parking lot that we are currently looking into for our new staff development building over on the north section of Lincoln, on the north side. We presented this once a while back, and we wanted to bring it back just to, in case there's any questions. We're currently working with our engineer, on-call civil engineer, just on a proposal, nothing set in stone yet. May end up being 200 spaces, may end up being 220 spaces, but this is where we're currently at right now, in case there's any questions.
Any questions or comments from the board, trustees?
Ruben, on that diagram, that, on the very top part, I guess it would be on the north side, that proposed detention area?
Yes.
That's not the one that the city's putting in, right?
No,
That's
sir. This particular area is on the north part of the campus, which is off of Quince. What the city's proposing is right off of 495.
And that one is to alleviate some of the flooding on that side of the...
That is based on the requirements that the city of McAllen has.
Oh, if you
for
take away green space,
yes,
you have to have...
yes, sir.
okay. And so the parking lot you're talking about is the one that's identified there that says 218 spaces?
Yes, sir.
There's already a lot there, right? Or there's nothing?
That is an open green space.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yes.
Brown space. Brown space. There's no
Green
grass.
right now.
It's a field, it's an open field.
Have they started on the other side?
No, they
Nothing
have
yet?
not started yet, no, sir.
And then, I'm sorry. Mr.
I'm done, go ahead.
The music building, that's where we have already, I seen the pictures of it, but that's where we're gonna have our staff development, or is that?
That will be the new staff development
Right,
building,
okay.
which is the exact same building that we currently have at Lamar.
Okay, perfect. And so, if we're able to do this, are you shooting for summer?
That is correct, yes, sir.
Perfect.
Finished?
Is it, well, I don't wanna know, the music building, can it be held, can we have meetings there too?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Trustee Saldivar.
Thank you, Mr. President. When you say it's the same footprint, it's exact same footprint as the current staff development, which is at Lamar Academy. The exact same rooms, the Texas Art Texas is the same square foot, and then the other two smaller rooms.
Correct.
And you've already completed the renovations on the building itself
Yes,
to
sir.
replicate what it was over at Lamar Academy.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So how soon is it going to be, are we going to vacate Lamar and give that total campus to the students and staff there to use, including what is now the staff development?
We're looking at vacating Lamar around May the 25th, somewhere on there, right after testing.
Okay. And that is the first campus you're going to put the science labs in. You're going to put two
Correct.
science labs there. And when will that get started at Lamar?
That's going to get started right after we vacate Lamar, which will be right after the month of May.
And so by that time, will the Lincoln Academy parking space that you're talking about here, will it have started at that time?
No, sir.
No. When is it anticipated plan
At
to
that
start?
time, right now, we are currently working with business office on putting the funding together for the project. And we anticipate that if there's any trainings going on in the summertime, we will be using some of the current parking space that we have at Lincoln now.
Okay.
Now,
Good.
once school is in session, then that'll be, a different story.
I got you. Okay. But the target, I guess, just to get clear, you're anticipating having the parking lot before the 2019-20 school year of late August.
That is a goal, yes, sir.
But it may not be ready for staff training at the beginning of August.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
And just a comparison, how many parking spots do we have here at administration?
Here at
Roughly.
administration, I would, a good guess,
It's less than
She
that.
said 10. It's about 100, right, somewhere around there?
give or take, all the way
Yeah,
to the back,
well, in the
plus the
back, yeah.
north, yes.
So this will double that.
Yes. The
Mr.
capacity of
President,
the
if I
buil-
may, well, one point I did want to make is that at this point, we don't have a funding source for that. So we would need to come back with the financials and work closely with Cindy and then come back to the board with something solid with regard to how much it would cost and what our recommendation would be with regard to how we would fund that project.
But thank you, Mr. President, real quick.
Go ahead.
All right, just to be clear again, this is a report, and so now we have an understanding, but we know going forward, if we're gonna use that space as we intend, both for a staff development, but the possibility that the board might use it as well, we're gonna need space more than we have here,
Yes,
and more than we have at Lamar now, to accommodate the public going forward, and our staff.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Farina, you had a question or
I
comment?
do have a question. Is there a way, I know that we haven't laid out any funding sources, but if we have to build a retention pond with a parking lot, can we somehow get an MOU with McAllen, the city of McAllen, and work on both retention ponds at the same time and maybe do some of their work? Or have them do our work?
We can certainly ask the question.
I mean, I think it makes it more affordable if you're gonna have the equipment out there, the motor graders and everything that you're gonna use as the excavators to lay down the parking lot. If there's an opportunity that maybe we can get together with City Manager Roy Rodriguez and say, hey, how about if we partner up and we knock this out together in the effort of saving costs, maybe even split cost?
We can certainly look into all options.
Especially
If
that
I could
retention
interject,
pond.
They have to bid out project by project, and that's already been bid out, so you can't go and change the scope afterwards. So it's a great idea, but it can't happen.
Okay.
But if I may real quick, it could, as far as the retention pond, as a separate project, to partner with the city on the retention pond idea, even though it's not part of the original retention pond. You see what I'm saying?
Well, we could go out on a different project, but not
Right.
piggyback off the other one,
Right.
right?
Right. And that's, I think that's another thought, since we may not be able to do that, is since it would help the community as well to have that retention pond on the north side.
Who was it that got
Oh,
that?
you're talking
on-
about not doing this one and doing that one?
No,
Oh.
that's already happened, it's done. But to piggyback on what Trustee Forina is talking about, whether it can be done or not, and you're saying it can't, but it could be a separate project with the city on the retention pond on the north side, because it serves a purpose in that neighborhood to the north as well.
Right, and they
for
might
the
have
water.
CDBG grant money for that.
And they have
Exactly.
contingency built into the other one. I remember we asked that, to have a little bit of contingency, so it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
What can I say, no?
It's the worst.
Thank you, Mr. Trevino.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you for the report. Moving on to items in closed session. We have 9A, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. 9A is approval of human resource recommendations, and Human Resources is submitting a list of recommendations under separate cover for discussion during closed session, and we are requesting action on this item.
So moved.
It's been moved by Trustee Farina. Is there a second?
Second?
And there's a second by Trustee Aliceta. Any comments or questions on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0. 9B, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. 9B, Human Resources Employee Resignations for the year 2018-2019. Human Resources is submitting a list of resignations for the 2018-2019 school year under separate cover for discussion during closed session, and this item is for information purposes only.
Items 9C and 9D have already been addressed as recorded. Moving on to items 9E, Mr. Crane.
No report on item 9E or 9.
Thank you, Mr. Crane, for your report. Moving on to consent agenda items. We have 11A, A1, A2, and A3.
I read it, consent agenda items number 10 by itself, and I don't see anything underneath. So
I
wouldn't
guess
11?
so. I guess there's no agenda
There's
items.
no agenda
No
items.
consent, sir.
No consent.
So that's easy.
I
You did.
no, I want to go with you, but
All right, moving on to item 11, instructional services. Dr. Gonzalez, if you'll take item 11A.
Yes, sir. 11A1. This is approval of the 2019 summer school programs. Summer school programs will offer an array of summer school learning programs for students in elementary, middle, and high school. Programs will offer opportunities for students to catch up with their studies, learn something new, and/or accelerate their learning, and we are requesting action on this item.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve this item. Are there any questions or comments? Trustee Farina.
Mr. Trevino. Step on up, sir. Come up to the hot seat. Reading the packet, it shows that the elementary schools, if I'm reading it correctly, that we're going to use Escandon and Garza Elementary. Middle schools, Fossum and Cathy. High schools, Mac High, Memorial, Nicky Rowe, and Lamar Academy. Are there any plans outside of these schools, preventative maintenance-wise, that may, and have we spoken with Delinda at the Boys and Girls Club, that may put a hitch in this giddy-up, shall we say?
At the time that we met, federal programs, Ms. Anjanette, myself, Dr. Ibarra met for the locations of summer school sites, and we're fine for all the sites that are on the list.
We're good with that. Even
Yes.
Boys and Girls Club, McAllen Boys and Girls Club, there won't be any sort of disruption in their services they
Boys and
provide?
Girls Club will normally happen in the gym area, and that's set aside,
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
but we have reviewed them all.
Excellent.
Any further comments or questions on this item?
just a question. It's not for you, Mrs. Reno. I'm sorry. It's probably, I guess, for HR. The summer school pay rates. I saw them there. Nothing's changed with that, right?
Yes, we have made a change.
It just because the hourly kind of threw me off. So I was like, are we making a change here?
Yes, we are, sir.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and project that. One of the major change is that we are going to keep the higher hourly rate for the remediation programs, which is your STAR, your credit recovery, and so forth. And then the enrichment programs, what we call, the enrichment programs that are not tied to intervention, the rate will now be $23 for the teacher. And the reason that we're doing that, sir, is because we were competing. We have the enrichment program and we have the intervention program. There's much greater need in the intervention program or remediation. And so our teachers were opting to work in the enrichment program. And so again, we want to attract the best teachers, the best qualified teachers to come to this program, to the remediation program, because there is more need. And so again, we're keeping the current pay rate, which is $36 an hour.
Okay.
And again, the enrichment program will go down to 23.
Now, we vote for teachers' pay increases, throughout the year, and support staff, what have you. In order to bump the pay for summer school, does that come to us? Because I don't remember.
We're not bumping the pay, we're lowering it.
Right, oh,
That's why.
okay.
For
yes,
the enrichment program.
For the enrichment program.
Yes, that's correct.
See, I thought we were recent, yeah.
We have always paid $36, or it's been a few years that we have been paying $36 an hour for the teachers across the board.
For the enrichment, I understand,
for the
it's not
enrichment and
in the
remediation.
class, right, I get that. How do we stand compared to other school districts, as far as pay?
I don't have that information.
Okay, I'm curious. And Mr. Miller, how do we increase, or how if we're not competitive, just say we're not, I mean, I don't know we are, but we're not, does that come to us on a separate, or you're shaking your head, Mr. Vela, I don't remember.
think it does.
No, right?
I'll do a report on how we compare to the local.
Okay. I know we're in our budget discussions. I'd like to see where we're at, because if we're not competitive, I know possibly something we can address. Okay, thank you.
Good points, good points. Anyone else, comments or questions? This item's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0. Moving on to 11A2, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. This is approval of request for maximum class size waiver application for the 2018-2019 update. And since the submission of the second waiver request on November 12th, 2018, additional sections are now over the 22-to-1 ratio. And Dr. Ibarra will share a little more information about this, and we will be requesting action on this item.
Yes, sir, that is correct. So this will be the last submission that we are required to submit to the state, and so the state tells us that anytime that a classroom in kinder through fourth is above the 22-to-1 ratio, we must ask for a waiver from the Commissioner of Education. And so we did this in September, in November, and again, this will be the last submission. Currently, we're requesting 9 new class size waivers, and you have there on the screen the classrooms and the campuses and the type of classroom, whether it's an English, GT, bilingual, as well as a number of students enrolled in each of those classrooms. Now, one thing to point out is that we do have 7 classrooms that are no longer over 22. So it really is a moving target. This year, currently we have 47 classrooms that are over the 22-to-1, compared to 55 classrooms at this time last year. In November, we had 45 classrooms, and in September, we had 50 classrooms that were over the 22-to-1. And so again, we have a mobile community, so students move from campus to campus. They come in, they leave, and so that changes the enrollment account in classrooms throughout the year, and it will continue to change. Again, we are only required to submit requests for waivers until February. So this will be the last submission. And I also did include for your review the membership records for this month, January, which is the one that we're submitting again, and it has a breakdown by campus and sections. And then also for November for your review, and then finally for September. So you have all 3 submissions for the year. And I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Ibarra. Trustee Aliceda.
I didn't realize that we have Kinder GT.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we offer that at all the schools or just at Jackson Elementary?
We offer it wherever they have GT students, wherever we have identified GT students.
Any
We don't have Kinder GT.
No.
So is that an error? That's an error? Okay. So then we don't have a GT classroom because they are identified in their kinder in March.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
What happens is that this data is pulled from PEMS, so it could be that the class is coded GT, and that's probably what it is. The class is coded GT, it's miscoded. So I'll get together with Mr. Crown so we can make sure we make that correction.
That was just one quick question. Does that correction has nothing to do with the number of waivers? That's correct?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Trustee Saliba.
Thank you, sir. That was one of my questions, so thank you for asking that. I noticed that 3 elementary schools are significant numbers, as far as 8 classes, 6 at another. And it seems like they're mostly in the 4th grade, which is odd. Normally you'd see that in 1st, 2nd grade. And it seemed to have the highest units, 15 total for the district.
Yes.
Is it because we continue to have that as an opened, or as far as these campuses are concerned and transfer in, or are they actually, residents that have moved in or relocated, or do we know?
There's variables. Most of these classrooms that are over again by 1, 2, or 3, and it could be because they're bilingual classrooms, they're GT classrooms, so that always limits us because we can only serve those student groups in those classrooms. The teacher has to be certified and so forth. So those are, the majority of the classrooms that are over are going to be your GT classrooms and your bilingual classrooms.
I thank you for the report and for the body of work, Dr. Gonzalez, and to you and your staff, because, I can recall a few years back, this was in the 30 percentile, 40 percentile, if not more. Here we're talking 12.3. And really between this report and the one previous, I think in November, it's a net of 2 more. But still way below where we were a year ago, and definitely below we were 5 years ago.
Yes.
So overall units, though, we are down. We were in the 460 range about 5 years ago. We're down to 332 units in the K through 4th grade, which is the area that we are asked to monitor. So I just want to take a chance to thank you for that, although I am continue to be concerned that in those 3 campuses, and it needs to be the most populated, we still have a lot of units that are over. So just something to think about as we move forward.
Yes,
thank you, Mr. President.
And we do continue to monitor the enrollment very closely. We do have guidelines in place anytime that a grade level is over by 8 or 10, depending if there's 4 classrooms or 5 classrooms, then we go ahead and approve another teacher. But for the most part, we have to make sure that we're being very thorough. We try to balance classrooms within campuses at times. But again, the biggest challenge, to be honest with you, is those bilingual classrooms and the GT classrooms.
Thank you.
Trustee Farina, you had a question?
Dr. Ibarra, thanks for the report. I thought for bilingual it had to be the equal number of students, 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12, around that.
That would be for dual language.
Okay.
That's the goal.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be, but that is the goal for the two-way, dual language, two-way. In a
Gotcha.
bilingual classroom, all students are bilingual.
Excellent.
English
Okay.
learners, right.
Thanks for clarifying that for me.
Trustee Alicia Alejandro.
Oh, yes. I know that for the purpose of the waiver, you don't have to have 5th grade, but it'd be nice if we could see 5th grade, how many is over, and pre-kinder. If we could just have that data, because I'm concerned that maybe 5th grade, it's even a bigger number than 15. I don't know if you have that data on you right now.
I don't have it with me, but I can send that information to you.
Okay, that would
I
be
will
useful.
follow up then. We have it for both pre-K and for 5th grade.
It'd also be nice if you could do any kind of correlation to how that school does on their tests. Like, I'm looking at one school, and they're not over anywhere, and I know they do really, really well on their assessments. It'd be nice if you could put in some data on how many of these schools are over and what was their grade in the assessments.
We can certainly do that, but I can tell you just off the top of my head that these campuses, the one, Jackson did very well. They were very, very close to attaining that A. Milam, as we know, is an A campus. Then we have McAuliffe and Rayburn. Rayburn is also an A, McAuliffe is a B. So they're doing well. We do provide support, as much support as we can. We have a very strong curriculum. So again, there's several variables that contribute to the success of the campus. Our intent is always to try to stay at 22 or below. And so we make every effort, and again, we continue to work very closely with the principal to ensure that we're not going over too much. But again, it does come down to budget and staffing, and so.
Yeah,
it's
Milan was
a
a
challenge.
94 on the accountability rating, and the district
Yes.
average was a 93, so they were above the average for the district.
Yes, sir.
Trustee Alvarado had a question.
I was at one of the elementary schools for the month of January was school board appreciation. So, and during that time when I was signing in, there was 2 families moving in, and talking to the staff there, they said since the beginning of the break that they've seen an influx of students coming into our district. So I guess you said that you monitor the numbers. I know overall we're down, but are we seeing since the beginning of the second semester an influx of students coming in?
Well, I don't have that information, but I do, what I can say about we have high student mobility. And so, some campuses have as much as 20% student mobility, so that means that students move from residence to residence, or the families move from residence to residence, especially where we have a lot of apartments.
Yeah.
And so that contributes to students enrolling and withdrawing.
Yeah, because I think we had in the last report from Superintendent Weekly, we were at negative 695, and a couple months ago, we were negative 740, something like that. So that's also a number I'd like to track just to see, because I know, I want us to get to that point if we kind of stop declining every month, and then we now at least, all the efforts that I know, that are going on with Dr. Benavides and everyone else that we're doing, at what point do we start leveling off and start growing again? Because it seems to me, I think we are growing, just anecdotally based on what they said. That's why we're seeing some of these numbers, because students are coming in. But and again, it's anecdotally, so yeah, I can follow up too as well too.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, comments or questions?
I do have a motion on this, I'll move
We
to
do, right?
approve. Yes, sir.
Is there a second to Mr. Strauss?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve this item. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0. Moving on to item 11A3.
Yes, sir. This is approval of House Bill 1, High School Performance Goals for 2018-2019. The high school reform funds require that the district set goals in improving the percentage of students that enter institutions of higher learning. And Dr. Ibarra will share a brief report with us, and we will be requesting action on this item.
Yes, thank you. And I'd just like to start with some background information on this item. In 2006, the Texas legislature created the high school allotment to support school districts in their efforts to increase the number of underachieving students who enter institutions of higher education. School districts may utilize these funds to increase enrollment in advanced courses such as AP, IB, and dual enrollment courses, as well as to increase the number of students taking college entrance exams such as SAT, ACT, and TSI. McAllen ISD receives approximately $1.9 million in the high school allotment funding. And so, in keeping with the requirements under Chapter 19, Texas Education 61, the board must establish the following objectives related to the high school allotment performance objectives. So there's 5 objectives. I'd like to start with the first one. The first objective is the percentage of students graduating from high school for the class of 2019 will be 97%. I have provided the information for the past 3 years, so we are slightly higher. We did increase very, very little from 95.7% in 2017 to 95.9% in 2018. We have set our target at 97% for 2019, and I have also shared with you the information for Region 1 and for the state, and we are, of course, doing better than the region and the state. Moving on to Objective 2, the percentage of 9th through 12th grade students enrolling in advanced courses in any subject, which includes AP, IB, and dual credit, and our target is 40%. Again, you have the information there for the past 3 years. In 2017, 36.3, 2018, 37.2, and our target for this year is 40%. You will notice that the region is slightly higher than us. We were able to gather data as to a possible cause of hypothesis, and one hypothesis that in Region 1, we are the region with the most early college high schools. We have 40 early college high schools in the valley, which means that there's a lot of opportunities for dual enrollment. We are pretty comparable to the state at 37.1. So that is, again, just something that I wanted to point out as to why we are below the region. Then we move on to objective 3, the percentage of students successfully graduating on the foundation whose school program at the distinguished level of achievement. For this, our target is 95%. In 2018, we were at 93.4%, and in 2017 at 60%. Now, I do want to explain that 60%. The reason that that is 60%, the first class that was required to graduate with the Foundation High School plan was the class of 2018. However, the class of 2016, which is we report in the 2017 taper, was given the option to graduate and follow the Foundation High School program. And so we had a significant number of students who chose to follow this plan, but we were not required. So really, we only need to report 2 years, which is the class of 2017, class of 2018. Moving on to objective 4, the percentage of students who are college, career, and military-ready graduates will be at 75%. This is also a new indicator from the state. It's only in its second year. Last year was the first year, so we were at 69.8. Again, compared to the region and the state, we are doing better, and our target is 75%. And finally, the percentage of students who are college-ready graduates in both ELA and math will be 50%. We were at 46.8%, so our target is 50%, and you can see that we're doing much better than both the region and the state. And that concludes my presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Ibarra. Floor is open for comments or questions or discussion. Trustee Farina.
It seems like this has a direct correlation to our post-secondary readiness distinctions, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain how it works? Just by meeting the challenges, is that?
Sure. Well, let me go ahead and start with the college, career, and military-ready graduates. This is where we're best aligned. So the state gives us criteria that we must meet in order to get credit for students to be college and career military-ready. So there's different methods, different ways that we can get these points, but again, this contributes to post-secondary readiness to our state accountability system.
So essentially, if we were to complete the high school allotment properly as laid out, we're almost virtually going for a third post-secondary readiness.
That's correct. The other one, again, the IP, IB, dual credit, all of those directly correlate to, again, that post-secondary readiness.
Thank you.
Trustee Farina, thank you, Trustee Farina. Anyone else, comments or questions inside?
I have a quick question, yes. It's probably, Ms. Nitch, on objective 2, 9th and 12th graders enrolled in advanced course, any subject, AP, IB, dual credit. I know we're at 37.2 in the regions of 44. Is theirs more attributed because they enrolled the whole school, for example, in dual credits than we do?
So, okay, so for our class of 2017, 43% of the class of 2017 graduated with college credit hours, either 9 or more, or 3 in English and 3 in mathematics. And then 37% of our students in grades 9 through 12 graduated with at least one AP or IB course. So I think what's happened in this case, because we only used to look at students in 11th and 12th grade, and now this new indicator is 9 through 12.
Okay.
So a lot of our districts around us do promote a lot of acceleration in middle school, so students come in to 9th grade and are able to take advanced courses. Then at the early college high schools, if students are taking like a dual enrollment art class, then that will count in this indicator, grades 9 through 12. So in McAllen, we're struggling, and I say we're trying to get better in having advanced courses available for our 9th graders, but currently we do not have any advanced courses available for our 9th graders, except at Achieve.
Is it a dual-edged though? Because I've heard, and I'm okay with the numbers. I think they're great, and I think like our IB numbers, no one touches those, right?
Right.
We have more IB students than any other district, so I just mean it from the sense that sometimes we want our kids to take those dual languages in 9th and what have you, but the flip side, if they don't do well in those, they fail. It affects them down the road when they enroll in college. It affects their financial aid, affects all that. So I don't want to grow for the sake of just growing, so I know it's there, but I just want to tell you, because I know our numbers, when you truly look at the advance, that 10th, 11th grader, the ones that are doing well, I think we're doing, our grades, I'm sure, will match up with any district around us or exceed them.
Right. I think when we look at the AP IB coursework, for our district and compare that to everybody in Region 1, the only two schools that have more APIB percentages or higher percentage than us or districts is South Texas ISD and IDEA. But then if you calculate out the number of students, okay, they have 400 kids, 500.
Right.
So then when you calculate through, and look at the numbers of kids graduating, we're neck and neck with those districts. Yeah.
Because we at one point we talked about maybe growing the IB program too, for example, but then we said, wait a minute, let's not go with quantity over quality. And I think that's where we're at, right?
Right.
We're just focused on the quality. So, I know the number is not there, but I'm really happy with what we offer our students, because then if they are in advance, especially the IB students, they're doing extremely well. The dual credit student too, though, I think we do a good job of our students understand when they take that course, you better be ready, because if not, it can affect you. So I know I've had those conversations, with my son, where he's been prepared by the counselor saying, if you're ready, make sure you talk to your parents, that type of deal. So I just want to commend you, because I don't want to just grow for the sake of growing. So I think we're doing a great job with this one.
Thanks. I think that we're really offering quality and, and trying to keep what's happening at Lamar. We're really working hard to keep everything at the high schools equal among the three high schools, as well as Lamar and Achieve, so that students have an opportunity, no matter which high school they go to, that they have opportunity for those courses at any one of our programs.
Awesome. Thank you.
Trustee Alicea had a question.
But to piggyback off that, how are we being equal if we're not offering honors courses or high AP courses in the 9th and 10th grade at the comprehensive high schools? And are we not offering them because it's a budgetary issue, or are we not offering them because we don't have the personnel to teach them those courses?
So in 9th grade, we have at the comprehensive high schools pre-AP. At Achieve, we have pre-AP. At Lamar, it's MYP. So if you're looking at the how much that weight is, it's all weighted the same. At Lamar, the kids cannot take the IB courses for the diploma program until their junior year. So at the comprehensive high schools right now, we do have a request for the students and the teachers. They want students to be able to take AP Human Geography. And, that would probably be 2 sections, maybe 3 at every high school. But that does, that is training for the teachers. That is the cost of textbooks and the cost of exams. And then, of course, the substitutes, because we do pull out our teachers 1 to 6 weeks to collaborate. So I think that the enrollment would be there at Achieve, at Lamar, at the comprehensive high schools for the students. They're looking for those opportunities, and that would definitely increase our percentage.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think Trustee Saliba, you have a question?
Yes, sir, and actually, Trustee Ali said I covered one of them. Thank you. But to follow up as well, could the administration review what we currently have as far as staff with the credentials, and then explore the possibility of making sure that all 3 comprehensive high schools, Achieve Early College, and the International Baccalaureate have access to these academic programs so that it's equitable across these 5 areas?
We actually have been engaged in doing that right now. I know that as a director, I do that every year. I look to make sure that nobody has the edge on another campus. But we've also been, Mrs. V has staff at the high schools working on that as well, and counseling and counselors working on that as well.
So when you mentioned this 9th grade, and that's across the district with the exception of Achieve Early College High School, as I understood, as far as advanced academics for 9th grade. Is that what I understood, what you say?
Yes.
All right, so where are we on addressing or exploring the possibility of making that available at the 9th grade at the 3 comprehensive and at the International Baccalaureate campus?
We've looked at it, and it's been discussed in the CNI design team. And the high schools, they do want the course, the AP Human Geography course, and we have teachers that are willing to teach it. I think we're just looking at the funding for that. It's that AP program is getting bigger and bigger every year, and we want it to grow.
There was just something else that happens. There are some ninth graders at the comprehensive high school that are engaged already in dual enrollment and AP courses as ninth graders because they've already advanced in the sciences and the math. So it's now time for them to take Algebra 2. That's what we were talking about on the, with the parents that we had the conference, that there are some that can already in ninth grade take advantage of something at the 13 point at the AP because of dual enrollment. Another thing I wanted to say was regarding the dual enrollment UT on-ramps that is another option that we have. That's where the student, it's very popular. Yeah. That's where the students have a choice. Do I want this to count, you know, on this transcript, or do I not? And so they get the exposure and they get the safety, and they can make that decision at the end of the semester. So that's getting to be, and I think that for this next year we have more coming up. Did we end up, right now, Mr. Salibat, our CNI curriculum strategic team is about publishing the curriculum bulletin. Mm-hmm. And that has been very robust conversations. We even have Ms. Benavides that's helping us on some calculations on the continued concern that there's equity when we know that when we know that comprehensive high school Achieve and Lamar IB are very different. You know, so we're looking for that mathematical balance. And we have also now Ms. Benavides looking and running through. We have a committee. We have someone from the comprehensive. We have Karen Nitch, and we have someone from Lamar. Then we also have now, just separate from that committee, coming up with these formations of class selections that students would choose because there is so much option and choice. An IB student could come to the high school if they chose, and they do. They take some courses at comprehensive, not often. And then technically we could have a high school student choose to go to IB. They don't, but they could. We have to be able to let it move back and forth, but the idea is to match their career endorsement and their graduation plan. And so this is calculations that we're doing right now as we speak, because we would like to brief parents and let them know that if you chose to be at Lamar IB or you chose to do comprehensive high school, you could mathematically, if you got the grades the same, be equitable.
The last 2 years, there were maybe 2 or 3 students that did take IB classes but weren't going towards the diploma. So that has occurred. The other is I was very impressed that at Mariachi Azteca, Mariachi Oro, there were at least 3 in each of the groups that were international baccalaureate students. And as far as athletics, and I know your daughters were involved in athletics and competed very, very well for their home campus, but we're at the international baccalaureate. The point I'm making is that students seem to be able to try to navigate and balance the academics and other extracurricular or other activities that give another boost to their transcript as they move forward. But the concern, you know, and I'm really interested in seeing what we're going forward is, can we leverage technology in which you have students in one campus, but you have an expertise in another, but you have a monitor in the classroom, but have it video conferencing in? Is that allowable under current requirements under TEA, that could you do some classes that way to manage some costs, you know, versus a teacher in every single campus teaching the same subject matter? Is that allowable?
I think that is allowable. I think that's something that definitely needs to be explored, and see how that would be facilitated, and because you still have to have a person there with the student. So however that could be facilitated, I think that's definitely worth exploring.
Okay, because you know, today's technology, I mean, we've had conversations through today in our workshops, and there were folks sitting all over, and I can tell you in my business, all my training was online in a video conference with others all over the country. And so I've been kind of, over the years, you know, I've asked this over and over again, but now we're at this point We're trying to balance costs, but we want to deliver service to each and every student so it's equitable throughout the various campuses. And we definitely want to, in my opinion, keep the International Baccalaureate at the Lamar campus, Achieve Early at the Lincoln Academy campus, and obviously our 3 comprehensive high schools. So, but I know there's costs there and how to do that. So I'm very interested in the equation that there's some discussion and some part in the recommendation. Can we leverage technology and that expertise in different places? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Just for the record, I concur with your statements.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all for your presentation. This item is for action this evening. Do I hear a motion on the item?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve this item. Any further discussions or questions on the item? Hearing none, all those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. 11B1, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. This is approval of Director of Student Operations for job description. And administration reviews all positions to maximize operational efficiencies. And during our last board meeting, Ms. Benavides presented a reorganization plan for the technology department, and Mr. Miller will discuss it further, and we will be requesting action on this item. Mr. Miller.
Thank you, sir. Tonight, we are bringing a total of 5 new job descriptions as part of the recently discussed reorganizations. 3 positions are under the Student Operations Department, and that is board agenda items 11B1, this one, 11B2, and 11B3. The other 2 positions fall under the Technology Department, that's agenda item 11B4 and 11B5. Monies for all of these departments will come from repurposing other vacancies within the Technology Department. Upon board approval, all positions will be posted both internal and external for 10 days. These moves will save approximately $20,000. In regards to the Director of Student Operations, this position is responsible for overseeing the Student Operations Division, which includes student enrollment and attendance, student schedules and grades, and student data and PEIMS. If you look at this chart on the screen there, it's item number 1 in the top left-hand corner, Director of Student Operations. Does anybody have any questions?
Any comments or questions on this item?
Are we doing just one of them, or is you talking about all of them?
I think we have to do them one at a time, don't we?
Yes, sir. We have to.
So we're doing 11B1.
11B1.
11B1. Do you have a question on that, or do you want to move?
I did. Do you have a question, Sam?
Yes, sir, I did, but you go ahead.
I was looking at the job descriptions, especially B1, B2, B3. They all seem to have the same responsibilities and functions. Yet one's the director, one's the coordinator. You're giving everybody the same responsibilities and,
Yeah, no, I can assure you they're actually quite different. The enrollment and attendance coordinator is really in charge of making sure that we have compliance at a minimum, but more importantly, that we're meeting all of the goals that we have with regards to attendance and persistence. So for example, earlier we heard that it would be great for us to see a report on leavers versus kids coming in and what gains we're making. That's what this role would do. In addition to that, it's really important for us to be able to create a positive experience for parents as they're registering and enrolling with us, and that would be the crux of the work that they do. So there's a lot of systems work involved, but there's also a lot of process work involved, specifically around the parent experience.
but on your responsibilities and duties, essential functions, to me, they look the same for the student enrollment attendance coordinator and are you telling me they're different? Because they look the same to me. And the director of student operations, numbers 1 through 5 look exactly like 1 through 5 for the student enrollment and attendance coordinator.
They do share a lot of the same goals, but the student operations director is really tasked with setting the strategic plans around the work, whereas the coordinators are really tasked with the execution and the action plans around the work. So the directors are the ones that drive the professional development of the team, they drive the management of the team, they drive the agenda, the strategic plan, how we're going to accomplish the things we're going to accomplish, the budgets around it, that kind of work, whereas the coordinators are the ones that are executing on the work every day.
And I understand what you're saying, that they're different responsibilities, but To me, it looks, did you identify that in the descriptions? Because they look the same, and I just hate for two people, one's the director and one's the coordinator, and they're both sitting there saying, well, I have the same responsibilities as you, yet you're in charge of me. Have you looked at those descriptions?
I wrote the descriptions, so I'm
Where do you-
very
where do you show-
familiar.
Can you show me where there are differences on them? 'Cause
Sure.
they look exactly the same to me.
Do you have them available,
Yes.
Todd, to share?
You're going to be looking at primary purposes, aren't you? The primary purpose description, that's where it is, right?
Yes.
Is that where it's different?
Yes.
Yeah, if you read the entire narrative, you will see that the Director of Student Operations is really in charge of the entire department. They're driving the department, they're driving professional development of staff, both at headquarters here at Central and at the campus level. They're really driving the team forward. But the enrollment and the attendance coordinator, or all of the coordinators for that matter, they're really the practitioners that are making the work happen, but from a process and from a system standpoint. So this work can get pretty tedious when you're thinking about all of the data that's involved, all of the systems that are involved, and all of the processes that are involved. And so the director is the one that's looking at everything that we're doing, continuously improving the work while the practitioners are executing the work on a day-to-day basis.
And and these are positions, individuals who are in these positions already. How are we saving $20,000 a year?
No, they're not in these positions. So we had 5 positions that were vacated in the Department of Technology. And when I presented this to the board previously, I discussed how we were peeling off these positions from the Department of Technology that was presented at the previous board meeting. And there we showed that there were some vacancies that we were leveraging, that were some high-ticket items, that by converting these to coordinator positions instead of some of the director positions that were there, we were going to be able to get a pickup there.
Go ahead, Sam, you go ahead.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Yes, you did. You did present the job descriptions in a previous board meeting and did tell us there were 5 vacancies in your appealing. But dealing with this first one, which is 11B1, because that would be the first action item. It says Director of Student Operations job description. I think what we need, because I had the same concern, but I realized that most of it was in the primary purpose. What we sometimes are accustomed is that you then see within the major responsibilities and duties of essential functions, you see a lot more refinement of what those in the daily activities might have been. And in some cases, yes, you may be taking an excerpt from the primary purpose of the job description and just numbering them down below and then expanding on the verbiage to be clarifying as to what their role is pretty much on a daily basis. And that's, I think, what we're kind of used to seeing. And it seemed like when you looked at that second part of the job description, major responsibilities, duties, and essential functions, they are the same verbiage. But getting to the question, we had a director that was over PEAMS. So in essence, the Director of Student Operations is now taking that role, but a much more focused and only that role, nothing else dealing with the DOT, with monitoring data entry individuals or support systems for the district or personnel that are supporting the personnel, the staff. It's only data and only looking at processes and that sort of information. Is that the way you understand it?
I think that's part of it. The biggest change is around the oversight of programmers. So the computer programmers would stay with the Department of Technology, and they would be focused on the computer systems. So it would be the computer systems coordinator that would now oversee the programmers, and those would stay in the Department of Technology. And what we really want to do with that team that wasn't really being done when they were all kind of under one bucket, is that we need some smoother integration amongst our systems and some cleaner data communication between our systems so that we're just more integrated. And so that's what that team is going to do. So the Director of Student Operations would focus entirely on that parent experience, student data, although PEAMS does go beyond student data because
Right.
there's some financial data that we need to submit and then some staff data that we need to submit. So to the extent that they would still be working on financial and staff data, they would for the purposes of PEIMS.
Yeah. If we were to take the old PEIMS director language and those responsibilities, would those have been fair to have incorporated into this second part or third part of it?
Yes, perhaps. I come from a school of creating a bigger picture as opposed to a laundry list of duties, just because that's my training and that's the background that I have. Typically, the duties, as I'm accustomed to developing them, really become goals for the department. And so, yes, the Director of Student Operations has a similar goal than the coordinator for student attendance and enrollment. The goals are similar, but the way they go about influencing and reaching that goal is quite different.
Yeah, and I fully appreciate and understand that from the descriptor. I clearly get that, but as I mentioned, we were kind of accustomed to seeing a little bit more. But I understand that school as well. You know, sometimes less is more, so it gives you a lot more latitude. Now, another question, I'm sorry, Mr. President, labor on this, but these are a lot of key positions, is the salary. How does that work? Because my impression as of late, it's been kind of interesting, is that sometimes we give the max, and other times the bare entry level, like for, again, this position, entry level supposedly is $80,410.80, right? And the max is $100,285.24. Let's say we have an employee of the district that's making approximately that low end, $80,410.8. Is that pretty much what they're going to get coming into this position, or can they see themselves getting a raise by competing and gaining this position? Or do you look at skill set, or is there another option?
I don't want to speak out of turn from an HR standpoint, but from my perspective, I think it would be the relevant experience that they're bringing specifically to this role. The classification of the role is similar to the one that was there before, even though the duties have changed. But I think it should commensurate with experience, but I don't want to speak out of turn, Todd.
No, she's right. She's right, and also, where do they stand compared to other people already in that same pay grade? So that way there's equity there.
So how does that work, that we've already determined within a pay grade, it's the 80 to 100, round number? And so you've already determined that. So what is now to again, encourage staff to to apply and seek these efforts or acquire skill sets that may lead them in this direction for these positions? What's the motivator as far as what they're likely to expect? It seems like it's a double measure. First, yeah, this is your range, and you're at the, right above that lower entry, but for you, I'm going to give you that. For the next one, I'm going to give you a $5,000 raise. How is that equitable?
Mr. Miller, if I could interject, maybe if you would explain the AM08, the AE06, the AM06, maybe if you would explain on our salary schedule that that's how you come to the salaries.
But this one's an AM08. I mean, it's already been predetermined.
Right.
And that's my point, is that it's already been determined that this is an AM08, not an AM06, not an AM09. It's a very determined figure. How are we doing it? Because I am hearing constantly that it's not equitable. That if I'm Joe Blow, I get a much better bump because I know somebody, and if I don't know anybody, I get a lower bump.
I would strongly disagree, and I would welcome anybody to come to my office and we'd be happy.
I'll do that tomorrow because I got names to tell you, and he knows I have names, so.
Understand.
Okay.
But we look at, okay, so everybody, the salary range is 80 to 100,000, for example, and you have 12 years of experience. Who else is in that 10, 11, 12-year mark, and where do they stand in that range? That way, you don't have somebody at the 8-year mark getting more money than somebody at the 10-year mark. So you got to take the range and then see where everybody falls within that range to find them. We'd be happy to show you.
Sure. So you're taking, what you're contemplating as experience, you're taking years of time, not acquired skill or something that you bring to the organization, because I beg to differ there, that I've seen where we have paid a significant amount for some folks, and it wasn't tenure.
That, no.
Well, we can talk about it another day, but that is very concerning, that it clearly states the pay grade and the pay grade range, and yet we start talking about 06 and 09 and all this other, and it doesn't seem to work out based on what the employee is currently in and now moving on to another role. And again, I don't want to belabor it, but that has happened.
I'd be happy to show you the process.
Sure. and I'll show you my concerns are.
Yes, sir.
Fair enough?
Mr. Vela, just real quick. Sam, are you done?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Okay. The Director of Student Operations, I like what you said, also they're responsible for the parent experience. And there's a lot of companies that spend a lot of money on the customer, on who they serve, and the parent obviously is one. So I just want to reiterate, because you said this last meeting too, one of the folks is, for example, Student Operations is responsible for changing how, for example, how we re-enroll.
That's
and making it a pleasant experience and what have you. So I think what we've, in the past, and I'm saying this out loud to you so I can I can understand it a little better in my mind, is that we focus on the data. Now you're opening this up so we can service more the customer, the outside external, right? Is that
That's
a fair
right.
statement?
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
To the
So-
extent that we can leverage, I think one of the challenges that we'll have is the ability to leverage our systems in order to do it, right? We're highly dependent now on the systems that we can use and roll out to parents. So to the extent we can make improvements with our existing systems, we will. But I think we're also going to have to explore what systems we use to kind of ease that process along.
Awesome. And I don't want to put in, pressure, because I know you still have to hire. When this is approved, you still have to hire. How soon can we see immediate impact? Is it too late for this year to
Well, I would love to see some improvement with
Some.
this year, and I think we will.
Following year.
I think we will. I think the existing team has that task, and we've been working together on that already.
Awesome.
And as a matter of fact, I think we have a meeting next week to review what the improvements are for this year, specifically around trying to minimize the redundancy in the data that has to be entered, specifically around siblings.
Okay.
To the extent we can do that, that's one of our main focuses, and creating a list of what is a must-have versus a nice-to-have at different points of the process so that we don't overwhelm the beginning of the process. So we have some goals for this year, and it's, again, to the extent that we can make improvements this year, we want to.
Is there also discussion down the road that if I'm from a parent of another district and I want to come to McAllen and I'm online late at night, after work, whatever, I'm looking, is there possibly the form that we could, fill out and register my child, not officially, but at least send some basic information so we can contact them? Because I know one parent suggested that, said, late at night in between work, I'm interested in McAllen, but I can't go during school during the day. Is there a possibility in making that parent experience a little bit, better and bringing students in is having a form where, they can click on and it comes to us and we can act on it?
Yes, so for new families, the goal is to now turn it into ongoing rolling registration.
Awesome.
So for new families to the district, it would be rolling and ongoing. For existing families, we would have a time frame where we would want them to go in,
Right.
knock everything out, and then finish. And then to the extent that we can, they wouldn't have to attend physically if they were able to upload all of their documents online. So those are the kind of things that we're looking at this year.
And that falls in the purview of the Director of Student Operations?
That's
Everything
correct.
you're talking about, okay, thank
That's
you.
correct.
Thank you.
Trustee Farina had a question.
All of these have been approved by TASB, right? We're good in TASB's eyes?
I think there are two that are pending TASB grade classifications that are up there right now.
But not for tonight's consideration, right?
Yes, sir.
They are?
There. It's a network security coordinator, which is 7B4, I believe, and the systems and data coordinator.
So should we vote on those two tonight,
It's your call. It's our call.
considering that they're still pending TASB approval?
Well,
TASB
you don't
recommendation.
have to have TASB approval.
It's not really
It's a
the TASB
recommendation.
approval
Okay,
that we
TASB
look for, it's a
recommendation?
recommendation, and it's
recommendation.
typically around the classification. We feel very comfortable that these coordinators, in the scope of their work and where they're aligned hierarchically in the chart, that they should have a very similar grade, which they do.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Just a second.
unless you were going to ask a
I was
question.
gonna-
I'm sorry.
A question, and I appreciate the efforts that your team is doing in this area. It did need to be done, and y'all are working it very efficiently, and I appreciate that. I know it'll go a long ways toward cleaning up all of this department. And I'm going to ask this question, and it's applicable to the other issues as well, items as well. Mr. Miller said something in your introduction. You said that you would be posting for 10 days for both within and without the district. My question is, because I thought in our previous discussions, we said we would not have a net gain in employees, but if we hire from outside the district, we may have a net gain of employees. I want to be sure that we stick to the original thought of net zero.
It is net zero. It's a fact. In fact, the new organizational chart is a net -1. The positions that we're posting externally are due to the vacancies that we've had over the last few months. And so those are being retooled and refilled.
So if we had 20 positions, we're at 19 right now? Is that right?
Actually, yes. So in the last presentation, we have 33 positions, the previous org chart. We have 32 now.
Okay. So I guess my math tells me you can only hire one outside person. Is that right, to make it work?
No, because we have vacancies in the
those
33.
Okay.
We had 5 vacancies in the 33.
Okay. I remember that was part of our discussion in the previous board meeting.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be sure I understand it for tonight's meeting. Anyone else have a question or comment?
I was just going to make a motion, if I may.
Please.
Yes, sir, thank you. On item, again, 11B1, approval of directors of student operations, I move to approve.
I'll second it. I'll second it.
It's been moved by trustee Saldívar and seconded by trustee Alvarado.
Thank you, sir.
Any further discussions? Hearing none. All those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, board. 11B2,
You
Dr.
have to ask.
Wilson.
You have to ask.
Mr. President, I'm opposed.
I counted you as a yes, okay?
I didn't.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You didn't give me an
Motion.
opportunity.
And if he did it, he just said, right, he just said all in favor.
Never assume.
Motion carries 5-1. I stand corrected, thank you, in my haste. 11B2, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. This is approval of coordinator for student enrollment and attendance job description, and this position performs senior level process and systems and work in the areas of student registration, enrollment, attendance, and persistence, and we are requesting action on this item.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, and I just want to say is, if we could limit discussion to what we've already discussed, it's fine with me, okay?
So it was Mr. Alvarado and seconded by?
Yes, okay.
All right.
Any further discussion? Here and then, all those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-1. 11B3, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. This is approval of coordinator for student schedules and grade job description, and this position performs senior level process and systems work in the areas of course catalogs, student rosters, master schedules, student grades, and student records, and we are requesting action on this item.
So moved.
Second.
Y'all catch on pretty quick. I appreciate that. Any further discussions or comments on the question, on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-1. Thanks, board. 11B4, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. Approval of coordinator for network and security job description. This position performs senior level, highly advanced supervisory work in network infrastructure and cybersecurity management, and we are requesting action on this item.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Do we accept this item, approve this item?
I do have a question, Mr. I am sorry.
Trustee Saldívar. You were doing so good.
I know. There always has to be one in the group, right?
You're doing so good.
I know. Based on our conversations and based on the action we've taken to get certain items resolved by the end of June of 2019, this individual is going to be a key individual in that regard.
Critical.
And so you're looking at getting this one ASAP.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Sorry.
Good point. So approval tonight, they're not going to be hired in any particular order. You'll fill these as appropriate candidates come forward. Is that correct?
Right. Well, we're going to post them
All at the same
immediately.
time?
Yes, and start
All right.
getting qualified candidates.
And based on who gets, so, you know, what the pool's looking like will help you in deciding how quickly you move on each.
Yes.
I got it. Okay.
Exactly.
Right. Good point. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
He said aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
I'm good with this.
That breadcrumbs got you following us now, right?
I'm good.
Item 11B5, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. This is approval of coordinator for systems and data job description. And this position performs senior level, highly advanced supervisory work in systems selection, integration, programming, and management. And we are requesting action on this item.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve this item. Any questions or comments on the item? Hearing none, all those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. 11B6, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. This is approval of coordinator for 504. And administration reviews all positions to maximize operational efficiencies. Students' needs in the district have increased in the area of Section 504. As a result, we have identified the need of a coordinator for Section 504. And this person will ensure compliance with Section 504 as a district and also individual campuses through management and training of personnel of Section 504. Mr. Miller has some more information for us.
Administration is amending this job description to include response to intervention duties also. We forgot to include that in there, so RTI will be included in this job description. And money for this position will come from repurposing a current vacancy. And upon board approval, this position will be posted both internal and external for 10 days.
The item's been presented. What say you, board?
Move to approve.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second, with the question, the vacancy, is that a job that's no longer going to exist, or that vacancy is sometime going to be filled?
It's a vacancy that needs to be, that we have right now, we're going to repurpose
So
that
that
into the.
one won't exist anymore, and it'll be repurposed to
Yes,
something new? Okay.
yes.
Is
It's
it
not
pen-
a new position.
I'm sorry. Is it pending TASB at the grade level?
No.
No. It just say, well, it just on,
I don't believe so. I
the
beg your
job
pardon.
description, on the job title.
My
it says
apologies, it does say
grade.
pending, my apologies, it is pending TASB. AE5 is what we're projecting it to be.
Okay.
Mr. President, just one comment. I believe Mr. Miller said that this job description was being amended to include RTI.
That's correct.
The motion to be as amended.
And also, does it need to say pending TASB approval?
No.
Or no?
It didn't tell
That's just a recommendation.
That's just a recommendation.
You accept the amendment to your motions? Who moved it?
I made the motion.
You-
Yes, sir.
RTI being,
Response to
Response to
intervention.
Okay.
And does the second?
Yes, I was a second, yes.
Both the motion and the second approve the amendment to include RTI. Any further discussion on this item?
real
Trustee
quick question, and this is
Barca.
part of the net zero, I mean, it's a repurposed position, so there's no, we're not adding a position.
We're not adding a position, we're just repurposing a vacancy into this.
Thank you.
All right, all those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, board. 11B item has been pulled by administration. Moving on to 11C, district operations. Dr. Gonzalez, 11C1.
Yes, sir. We
It's-
have
We've
already.
already done that item.
Yes, sir.
11D, business operations. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. 11D1, approval of the McAllen Independent School District January budget amendment for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2018, and ending June 30th, 2019. And we are requesting action.
So moved.
Is there a second to Mr. Farina's motion?
Second, sir.
It's been moved to second to approve this item. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, board. 11E, Board of Trustees items. Administration asks the board to consider approval of the attached minutes. You have them in your package. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the Board of Education meeting minutes as presented. Any comments or questions or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, board. Item 12, schedule of future meetings. February 15th, board workshop, 10 a.m. That's this Friday, folks. All right?
What is that?
No, yeah, Friday.
It's Friday, what is that?
That's
one?
the,
Isn't that the
at the HEB workshop.
Interviews.
Interviews. 12B, February 20th, special board meeting, 8 a.m. C, February 20, board workshop at 10 a.m., also being held here in the boardroom. The 25th of February, regular board meeting at 5 p.m. here in the boardroom. Special board meeting, February 25th, here in the boardroom at 6:15. February 26th, possible quorum meeting at 6:30 p.m. Staff Development Building, Lamar Academy. And February 28th is possible quorum meeting, 5 PM, boardroom administration building.
What's that in reference?
I don't know.
The 26th is the public hearing on the TRE.
Okay.
I don't know about the 28th.
Oh, that's the, is that the town hall?
Yes, sir.
The town hall meeting that Dr. Gonzalez is.
On the 26th. I don't know about the 28th.
Yeah, we'll-
Same thing?
Yeah, well, one's the town hall, one is,
February?
Yes.
Norma, it's 28th.
what's the 20th?
Citizens.
Natalie didn't, you know what, it's,
It's on our calendar.
bear with me.
Town hall is the 26th, you're right,
Yes.
but the 28th, I don't have anything.
I don't have anything.
Maybe that's gonna be the new, city school district date?
Possible,
Since we close that one, maybe.
possible. It's not on my calendar either, so I'll find out from Natalie and let
Mr.
your board
Villa,
know. But I'm gonna put it on the schedule for possible,
Okay. On February, on item C, February 20th, the board workshop, maybe that's where we add on, since we're already here, the discussion that we had today, at an earlier board meeting with Ms. Richards and the items for the possible maintenance. Maybe we add it there at least to present it to us, so we can at least start this discussion, depending on how long that meeting goes.
I'm sorry, what day was this on?
Well, the 20th, we're already here, we're here
that's
to,
the insurance
That's the
meeting.
insurance.
Those are the
Okay, but-
interviews for the insurance.
but can we find some time? That's what, or
Oh, I
the
see what
10th?
you're
This meeting's probably gonna go 8 to 12.
Currently, we were thinking that we would have the second budget workshop on the 25th, which is our next board meeting.
Oh,
And
okay.
and I know that there was some interest in a 2-hour meeting, so we're thinking from 3 to 5 here in the boardroom.
Okay, that'll work.
That's what we're aiming for right now.
Okay,
Okay, 20.
thank you.
Item 13, going into closed session. There's no need to go into closed session this evening. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move, Mr. President.
It's
Move
been
to
moved to adjourn. All those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
Well, you need a second, so I'll
You need a
second
second
it.
for adjournment?
Yeah, I'll second.
Yeah, I
Okay,
do.
I'll do it. I'll take it anyway. All those in favor of the item signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 8:30 PM.